I'm not sure you're all aware that the rodeo attracted a very fine business in town, the diesel company. He moved here because of the rodeo. And then for the new members, I'd like to remind you again that the Lions Club funded the first Shakespeare Festival in town after the city, the Rotary Club, and Chamber of Commerce has left Fred Adams out of their meetings. And so we're pleased to be part of that great event here. So we hope you can support us in our rodeo again this year. And that's all I have, unless you have some questions.
Is the money that you're requesting, is it just for general operations? Is that what the money is used for?
Yes, it helped pay for the rodeo, the performance rodeo.
Does the university, Southern Utah University particularly, as a co-host or whatever, do they contribute anything? Do they do anything with it?
Really, the university is not a co-host.
Okay.
The rodeo club is not recognized as a club on campus. Well,
there you go.
But President Witt rode in the rodeo opening ceremony both nights, he and his wife. They support the rodeo, but the rodeo club is not like a fraternity. And so we receive no support from the college financially. We get their moral support and that, but we do not receive any money from the college.
Well, I had the pleasure of attending one night, and it was a great event. So thank you for putting it on, and thank all the fellow Lions for doing the work they do.
Well, thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Willie.
All right, next we'll have Joni Lyman with Senior Companion and the Foster Grandparent Program.
Thank you, Joni.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you so much.
Just going to share that. Might as well give everybody one.
That's right. They're included.
Thank you.
So I'm Joni Lyman with 5 County Association of Governments, and I am over the Senior Corps program, which includes foster grandparents and senior companions. And I've seen a lot of you before, so you probably know my programs, but I'll just briefly go over them. These 2 programs are federal programs. They're all over the country. However, you have to have a sponsor to have the programs in your area, and 5 County is our sponsor, so that's where they come in. We're federally funded, but we have to have match money to show community support. So we have to raise about $10,000 a year for our programs. So this is one way I get a little bit of this money. United Way gives us a little money, and some other cities. I only ask cities where we have a presence. So right now I only have volunteers in Iron County and Washington County. So those are the lucky cities that I ask. So senior companions, Cedar City has 2 senior companions that actually live in Cedar City, but I have 4 volunteers total that serve. I have more than that. I have 5 volunteers total that serve clients in Cedar City. So that adds up. So on the back of the paper, I put some figures, but that's just kind of how I came up with my numbers. So we have 2 senior companions that actually live here, but altogether all my volunteers provide 18 clients with service. And that means that they serve them 4 hours a week, and they transport them, they take them shopping, they take them to get their hair cut, doctor's appointments, whatever they need. We try to just keep them in their area. However, I have a few that if they have to do a specialist, like down in St. George, I will approve that like twice a year, just because we don't have the budget for mileage to go too far, too much. But mostly they just stay right here. I also have quite a few clients in Parowan and Enoch, which their volunteers bring them to Cedar City, to the doctors, and to go shopping. Everybody needs to go to Walmart or Smith's or somewhere. So anyways, I've just included the miles for those that live in Cedar, those clients that live in Cedar. And then we have foster grandparents, and they are seniors that go to the schools and help the kids with their reading. And they have to work one-on-one with kids. They can't do what I call cutting and pasting. They can't grade papers or do lunch duty or any of those things. They have to work one-on-one with a child. And have 7 foster grandparents in Cedar, which is a big amount. Total, Iron has 11 foster grandparents, and Washington County only has 6 foster grandparents. I'll tell you, it's way easier to get volunteers in Iron County than Washington County. I don't know why. There's a lot more people down there, but guys have good people here.
Indeed.
Yes. So we call our volunteers. However, we do pay them a small stipend. All our volunteers are lower income. Most of mine just are on Social Security. Some, like, I don't know how they live on it, but like $1,000 a month. And they have to make less than $2,000 a month. So they're lower income, so they receive a small stipend, which is $2.65 an hour, which isn't very much. We reimburse them for mileage, 35 cents a mile, but they must volunteer at least 15 hours a week. The average is about 22 hours a week, which is pretty good. Some of them, I have a couple that would work all the time, but I can't let them. So, yeah, I think that's about covers it. I think. I'm so used to saying it, I don't know what I missed, but do you have any questions? Or
How do you screen these? How do you find these volunteers?
So I try to get out and advertise, and the best way to find them is if one of my volunteers recommends them, because then they kind of already.
Kind of a referral.
Yeah, they know. So that's one of the best ways. But yeah, I go to the senior centers and put up little help wanted ads and things like that.
Is the $265 a federal amount that you pay?
Yeah.
They say what it is?
Yep, they say what it is. The Congress actually approved $3 an hour, but they didn't fund it. So that was years ago. That was probably 7 or 8 years ago. But maybe someday they'll get up to $3. So it hasn't raised. The programs have been around for like 50 years. And I think it's went from $245 is what it started.
Oh my goodness.
I know. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Relatively better. So you have a total budget of $36,681. Is that for these volunteers?
So that is just for their stipend and for their mileage. That's not me, or I just thought that'd give you guys an idea of how much, I mean, your citizens are, your volunteers are earning. So it adds a little bit to their income. So yeah, that's the total there of just the mileage and the stipend.
Got it. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Any other questions?
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. They're great programs, great people.
Yeah, they are.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks for what you do.
All right, next we have Todd Prince with the Frontier Homestead State Park Museum.
Thanks. Do I need to state my name? No? All right, so we're requesting just $500 for our Christmas at the Homestead event. This is our 10th year doing it. It originally started as a one evening activity, and we'd have between 300 and 500 people. And since then, we partnered with the Shakespeare Festival and expanded it to an entire week, and then added on the holiday market as well at the end of it. So This year, December 3rd through the 7th is Christmas at the Homestead, and then the 7th and 8th is the holiday market, which Christmas at the Homestead is in the evening from 5:30 to 8 o'clock, and then the market runs most of the day on Friday and a good part of the day on Saturday. The monies, if granted, would be used for additional advertising so we can expand our reach beyond Cedar City to bring in people from outside the area, small communities in the area, St. George area, so we can, have a bigger celebration. One of the things we looked at a number of years ago was these European Christmas markets, and we're like, can't do that exactly, but we could do something similar to it. So that's the kind of the direction we were moving with everything. So back to the use of the money. So advertising, expanding the lighting and decorations at the park. I don't know that we'll ever be Temple Square, but it'll be a nice little exhibit there. And then the third thing is all the consumables that we use during the week, food, beverage, all the crafts, the entertainment, that costs money that we have to come up with. I would like to take the fees that we collect and turn it back to the Christmas, but state accounting doesn't let us do that. So it goes into the black hole up in Salt Lake. So you'll have to wait till the next legislative session to get it reallocated. So we're collecting fees, but those monies aren't coming directly back to us to support the event. So we have to find outside monies to actually do the event. So if you looked at the budget, we have a number of different pots of money that we're pulling from and gathering support from for the event. What else do you want to know?
Does it cost to attend the?
It's $2 for an individual, or for an entire family, it's $5.
And children would just be in the family ticket, not the.
Yes, they would be. Typically, 6 and under is free to get in the museum, but when they come as a big group, they're just all calling it lumped together.
Okay.
So tell me about the market that you have for the 2 days. Is that where people have booths and do things, or
yes,
what?
it's primarily Christmas shopping. It's basically an art festival, and it's all original handcrafted arts and crafts. No resale items there, so it's all made by the artist or the craftsperson. And we have in space in the museum for about 30 artists. And there's actually some incredible stuff that these people do. So not anything you can get at Walmart.
Okay.
And about half of those artists are from outside the area, so they'll be staying overnight in motels. They'll be buying meals. So they'll be spending money. I gave a little bit of expenses. And these are probably low for what will actually be spent in the community. But I didn't want to overinflate the numbers, so I want to be somewhere close to realistic. Like I put $15,000 for holiday market purchases. That's probably really low. It's probably closer to $25,000 to $30,000 that'll be spent for artists, or be spent to buy, crafts and goods and art. So that's all taxable. Has to be reported. I don't know how the tax monies get back to Cedar, but I know it does somehow. So I highly recommend you come and walk around and visit it.
So are those that are selling goods, are they paying for a booth?
They pay for the space, yes. And that actually runs through our foundation. So they collect those booth fees. And I don't know if you noticed, but our overall budget is like $8,800, but in the taxable expenses for the event, I put like $4,400. That's because some of the monies are coming through state parks, which the state doesn't pay tax to itself, but the money's coming through the foundation and used to purchase supplies and whatever for the event. Those are taxable. So.
Okay.
Gotcha.
Good. So do we have some momentum in the program? Is there good attendance?
Yes. When we first started this about 10 years ago, we had like 300 people come one night. And then when we expanded it, it moved up to about 2,000. And then last year, we had 3,500 people. And then based on the response we're getting with social media and our advertising, we're anticipating 4,000 people this year over the week. Last year on Friday alone, we had almost 700 people in 2.5 hours. It was just chaos. People everywhere. So it's a lot of fun.
That's great. I had years ago, I had the opportunity to attend a fair like this in downtown Munich just before Christmas, and the energy in the neighborhood, it was fun. It was fun. And I
It is fun.
applaud the
had
effort.
pleasure
I think
going
It's
there.
a hop and place, and all the entertainment is local. And so they'll get a little bit of compensation. Not a lot, but a little bit.
great.
As a side note, this year, we just have to thank Todd. We did our combined with Iron Mission Days and the
Oh,
Cedar
right.
City birthday.
Yes, indeed.
And it was a really kind of fun educational opportunity for the kids because they would come and ask what the birthday cake was for, or, you know, what the pioneers did and all of that. And so it kind of added another level to kind of teach them about our heritage and our community. And
That's great.
so
Yeah, and we do that with Christmas as well. You know, they get to go out, they get to see the historic buildings, the farm equipment is lit up. So it's not overtly educational, but there's an underlying current there of education with it as well. So
And fun.
it is a lot of fun, a lot of work, but a lot of fun.
Yeah.
So, and we don't do this for ourselves. We're doing it for the community. So that's really our goal, is to become this community resource. And I'm not saying that just to blow smoke, but I mean, that's really why we're there, why we exist. So we're trying to create events that will enhance the community experience, really. So if you have the opportunity, I highly recommend you come out
Okay,
and
will do.
experience it. So
Thank you.
any
so
other
much.
questions?
Thank you. For
Thank you.
What you do there. Thanks.
Thanks. Appreciate it.
All right. And our last request is our annual request from the Paiute Indian Tribe of Utah, the Cedar Band of Paiutes. They have a powwow
and restoration
and
gathering.
restoration gathering every June. And so they've requested $1,500 to help sponsor that event.
I'm just curious, how come no one's here to represent them?
We're not always able to get a hold of everybody, and I know people wear different hats and have different responsibilities annually with the powwow. So, but inevitably they'll make this request, and so we always try to target it with this budget.
Sure. It's a great event, and it certainly speaks to the indigenous people of this area. I understand that. I just wonder sometimes if there's just an expectation rather than needing to follow through like the rest of the organizations do. So that's all I was asking for.
And we've had different years where something's come up and the individual hasn't been able to make it. And so,
Yeah.
so with that, shockingly, this year, the allocation did come out from what was requested to actually be $5,000. The council does have the discretion to change those amounts as long as it stays within the $5,000 budget.
Oh, we can't make it more?
No.
Well, they're all worthy. I mean, they're all good causes, certainly.
So Todd, have you asked for enough?
No.
Did you want to come back to the mic? You don't have to. I'm just joking with you.
No, we could always use more, but I want to be greedy.
Just
Mhm.
I don't know.
You thinking the same thing as
Thinking,
me?
yeah, just move 500 up there.
Make it equal.
Mhm. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm good with that. That was my thought.
Of Lions.
No,
No, we would just reallocate from the 1,500 below that 500, and make it 1,000, 1,000, 1,000 for those last three. I don't want to disappoint anyone, but I also want to support. So
Yeah, I'm just looking what was last year too.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
and we can
There's
come from
there's
either of these,
Yeah.
right?
Todd, can I ask a question? The RAP tax funding you receive, is that used for general operations?
No. RAP tax funding we receive is usually for special projects. For example, this year we purchased Dennis Allen's wheelwright shop, which will become part of the exhibits. Past RAP tax supported restoration of the Hunter House, our outdoor restroom, and some interpretive signs that are out front by the ore shovel
So
and
you
caboose.
use those for special projects rather than programming itself?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Thank you.
I have a question. When we had talked before, if we contribute this money, will that night be kind of like the Cedar City sponsored?
We would pick a night. Yes, we would pick a night that, for example, last year, SUU Head Start sponsored a night. And so they provided some funding and some volunteers that night. And we recognized that in our advertising and marketing and everything. So if you did provide money for us, we would, you could pick a night to sponsor. So, and then we would, like I told the mayor, we would make it available for all city employees to come that night for free.
by the way, thanks for your enthusiasm.
Oh, we love doing this stuff.
It shows.
I mean, to honestly, when I'm walking around one of those nights and I see hundreds of people there laughing and the entertainment and singing and lights and Santa and the kids,
little kids dipping candles and everything.
Yeah.
It's very fun.
It's very satisfying to me.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
All right.
So I'm going to float a trial balloon here.
Make sure it's helium, so it stays up.
Yeah, that's
How
right.
much helium's in it?
I don't know. It's not a lead one. I would just propose that we hold everything consistent with last year for Lions Club, the Paiute Indian Tribe, and the Senior Corps, and move 500 more to Frontier Homestead.
So that would be.
So it'd be
taking-
1,500, 1,000, 1,500, and 1,000 for each of those last four organizations.
So the extra 500 to go towards Frontier would come
out of
from
Lions.
Out of Lions.
And hold them consistent with the prior year.
You guys can, during council tonight is when you'll ultimately vote on
Yeah.
these allocations.
Oh, it is. It's not here in this special meeting.
No, because this is just like the work meeting part.
Okay.
And,
So we'll present it.
yeah.
Okay. Okay. But that's,
And so it's actually on the agenda for tonight, and this is technically the public hearing part, which is why we had the public presenting their ones. And then tonight is the action meeting where we'll approve it all.
okay. Well,
Okay.
So,
I'd buy that.
But is that how
Can-
council wants that presented then from me, is allocated that way?
I'd agree.
I'm fine with that. Yes.
I think we're okay.
So that's how
Yeah.
I'll propose it.
1,500,
1,500, 1,000,
1,000,
Yeah.
1,500.
1,500, and 1,000.
1,000.
Oh, apparently you staying till the end.
Look,
And
that
could
pays off.
You have to
maybe
be present to win.
This is my first meeting of this type for the community promotions. Is it possible in the future? Can we get copies of the requests and stuff prior to the meeting, or is this generally how we do it? I don't know, because I didn't know even what people had submitted till we got here.
Yeah, we can do it different in the future. This has been a fund that's historically been much larger. We've started to have groups request funding from whether it's RAP tax
Right.
or even a few of the groups we've itemized in our annual budget, such as
Mhm.
Women's Crisis and
Children's
Justice
Mhm.
and the Care and Share.
Because those
And-
ones seemed awkward to have those
Mhm.
come out of a community promotion.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
didn't feel right.
No, I agree.
So this item,
I don't think it has to be a
Is-
big thing.
Yeah,
Just
Yeah,
a
just a quick summary of
quick summary
what,
of who requested and what they were asking for.
But
And
we can
mhm.
easily do
Yeah.
that. But this was also designed because a while, well, probably my first year, you would have individuals and groups coming throughout the whole year.
right.
And after we'd already approved a budget saying, well, will the city donate money to this? And we realized setting one time where there's an application and we have the funds, it just made everything so much cleaner. So that's kind of some background history on how we got to where we
Sure.
are. But yes, we can get you the information.
It doesn't have to be
Yeah, that'd be
just a
helpful.
day before
Yeah,
or
I can
something.
be
Even
faster.
just this.
Yeah, so I mean, yeah, so we basically, everybody that approaches the city for funding throughout all kinds of timeframes, I try to wait till the very last minute to,
Mhm.
we email a big list of people that have approached the council or the mayor.
And then
And so
follow
it's
up with
always-
And you say
Right.
this is when it's due if you're interested.
We try to focus everybody, and
Yeah.
that's not always super effective.
No, I think having a set deadline of where it
Mhm.
makes perfect sense.
always do it around this time of the year.
It's a Christmas gift.
Yeah, that's right.
And we're past the budget, and so we know.
So what was the deadline? Was the deadline like a week ago or was it yesterday? I mean,
Friday,
okay,
we asked for applications to be in by Friday. Monday was a holiday.
sure.
And then I had a few follow-up items and a few groups I was anticipating to be getting a response from, and
Right.
as well as we published this in the newspaper as well as we're required to do. So,
Oh, was it in the legal notices?
yeah.
Okay. First thing I read every morning.
But inevitably, somebody will contact you later and say,
Hey, how
"Hey,
come?
Why
how
didn't
come we
we?"
didn't?"
Well, you
why
missed the
didn't we know?
deadline. Look for it next
So-
October.
So it's hard to win with this
Yeah.
one sometimes.
But at least we have a system now. You can say, I'm sorry, they do that usually end of October, first part of November of every year.
Sometime between September, October, November.
Thank you.
With that, can we get a motion?
Motion to adjourn this special council meeting on community promotions.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thanks.
Todd.
Hey, Todd. Come here just a sec. Let me talk to you more about what happened was I was down there looking at this monument and Tom Jett is moved out front.
Yeah, that's really government. Have you ever had, we used to have Vista.
Well, they're
volunteer-
trying to.
We used to have Vista.
I've got actually Jeff Hunter on the street brought me
Tell you how
pictures of graduation. When we moved from
Yeah, it's like
to the side.
Yeah, I
On a
think we'll
cab,
pass.
flatbed
Literally.
truck and a drag.
Well, you missed yesterday. We had the seal up yesterday.
Oh, it's
Michael
it's probably
sitting here and said, where'd it go?
say
What's that?
maybe 7
big
feet
city seal
wide.
Was it a whole thing?
It was
just
beautiful.
a-
It was
just a-
Yeah,
beautiful
why do you not have it there all the time?
because there were a couple of
And I'm not,
imperfections.
here's what
Money we
happened
paid
was I
for it.
thought, you know what?
We called
This-
Jaden back
this
and
is
said,
kind of
"Can
cool
you fix
thing.
it?"
So it'll be
So
up there. I don't know when
it
it's
looks
when it's
front.
satisfactory.
It's not. looks
Gore
bronze.
took out of the mines.
And
And I thought, you know, Tom and I were
decor
talking
works.
about it. And I
but
was
it looked
where would
like when they
you know,
it's
would we wanna
two-tone,
put
it's
it in
got
City
kind
Park?
of
I
a
think it could be a
lighter
cool
I know,
lighter
you had
golden, and it's got the bronzy
Guess what?
brown
or
gold
something,
color.
and I don't know
It
if
looks
we
like
would
when they
need
were
some
painting
sort
the
of a
lighter color, maybe it
that's
dripped
got
on
a
the other.
plaque on
And
it.
so they
That's what I was
took the other
trying to
paint and
remember.
they kind of painted over it. It's kind of like when you touch up your own car or something. It's the same color. You can tell. And so when the light is hitting, you're going, wait a minute, there's that, that, and that, and that. There's 5 spots on it. No, that's not good. You take it back and fix it.
And it would
But it looked really good.
kind of go with.
It looked really good. Yeah, and that's why we moved the flags up here, and it'll be there. And so when we have officers sworn in and recognize employees of the month and different things, the mayor can stand right there and get a
What you,
picture.
what you can do.
Looks
is
a lot better
drive
than a white
down
square.
there sometimes, take
So
a
we'll
look
see.
at
But I
it.
noticed today it's gone. So
As you're
they
going
must have
down
kind of took it down
Industrial
to.
Road,
Yeah, Michael
There it
came
is.
down to see it. And she's like,
Where'd
where
you
is
go?
it?
Oh, they put it up and take it down every day. to
Yeah.
protect it. Yeah.
It goes back in and around there. And as soon as you get right behind the old coke plant, behind
Yeah,
the
doing it
fence
right.
right there, the monument sits there and this rock.
Man, I would
That's
like
place
to
you can pull it.
know.
That's all gravel and
Hang
everything.
out there and do a service project.
And just,
Really work with
just take a look
And
at it.
they-
as a
those
friend.
guys,
It just-
what a-
it was a crazy
You get a
thing.
little better
They're all
allocation.
like
And I was
They need a
thinking, you
better
know what,
allocation.
that would be
State.
kind of cool
Yeah.
somewhere.
They kind of get the short end of the state parks.
Okay, I just, and I was gonna come down and visit with
See,
you.
that's what I get frustrated.
Well, that's, the cosmetics of moving is not an easy solution. However, I think
Maybe we
we
should-
might be
maybe
able
we
to
should.
partner.
And then all of a
Jeff
sudden,
says he
then
might
when
even have a flat.
you hear from them,
Really good.
And
Every
they
year
call it,
you know, it
and
makes me
council.
mad
somebody in
because
town
they do
called,
this.
I don't know who's got the brain that
Well,
can
in the
pick it
city,
up.
like,
I'm looking
everything
for
we
somebody
raise in the
that
city,
would
we
do
should
it as a
support it. So I'm
community
sure they're doing it
service. I'm not coming and saying, hey,
but
you know, let's encourage.
Well,
them to
the
spend.
real thing
I'd
I like
find
Summit City is
somebody
increased
that would be willing to
because there's a lot of projects out there.
Gilbert.
And I know we can't be a social program.
Their shovel and everything for you. And he'd have the equipment, obviously. But anyway, if you just sometimes just, this is a harebrained thing that hit me a couple of weeks ago, and I thought, you know what, that might be kind of cool out there. By your shovel. Where your iron.
plus all of staff.
Yeah.
Yeah, for
All of this
$5,000.
time for
Sorry.
$5,000. It seems like it should
We
be
all have
a
to hire.
wasted resource.
We gotta
Give
nail
them
it in.
announcements for
Yeah.
you.
Yeah, I
It's
do.
almost
I do.
like
I'm
they're
on your
approved
email list.
$5,000. Why don't they
I
just?
just, I don't get out
They're
to a lot
decided
of.
by staff
Yeah.
or.
Seems like I have
Maybe they just want to be
conflict.
protected, but it does make you wonder, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's like, this is a lot.
All right, see you at 5:30.
Everything,
Yeah,
but
I'll get a bite to
I
eat.
support you 150%. As always. This is great. So, but I've been gonna come visit with you, and I don't know, it might be kind of
So
a
what's
neat
your deal?
feature.
I
I
haven't
look
got
at
into
it as
it yet because
something
I've read
as,
his. I've
you know,
only
You're a
used to have
politician,
that,
good sir.
looked
Actually,
very
it's
quickly
terrible.
at
Now
tires,
I'm an old man.
STR.
The old World War.
I haven't studied
One
it.
of them.
I haven't studied it.
Yeah, me either. And I didn't.
And I'm going
The
to.
second one.
The second one was just the
pyramid
license and
that had the
the application
cannonball
or
on
whatever you want
top.
to call it. So,
See, where did that end?
so you look at it and then we can talk about it because
It was
There's
it was
some-
a rock
I want to protect our
pyramid thing
neighborhoods
that had a
because
big cannonball on
sense,
top of it.
I see it happening,
Climb it as kids.
potentially happening with short-term rentals.
You know, I
This
don't know where
happened with
that is now.
long-term
I'm thinking
rentals.
about, but the
I live
Veterans
around the
Memorial used to
university,
climb all
and
over
I get
that
it because
thing.
years
Now
ago,
it's-
Mrs. Brown
Now it's
died,
over in the Veterans
and
Park.
some guy from
You know,
California
when I
came
was
in
kid,
and
'cause I
bought her
grew up
house,
right here.
and he's rented out to
On
college
100
students.
East, where the social
And then
services building
John
is.
Blue died,
Sold our
and
house
somebody
to
else
the
bought that house.
state.
Pretty soon, now there's only
So I
two
grew up
residents in
right
that neighborhood, and they're all
downtown,
rentals.
so-
Now, I'm not saying it's going to happen.
Anyway,
in
I
short
just,
term.
it was something that hit me and I thought,
Potential is
I was
because
gonna run
if
it
some
across.
guys on Ridge Road and somebody sees a smacking deal for
It may not
$250,000, I'm going to buy that home and rent it out for a vacation rental.
It was
I'm
just
from
an
California, what
interesting,
do
I
I
thought that
care?
ought to be
You
out
know?
where people could see it. Nobody's looking at it back there.
How can you
Well, I was thinking, I just
continue
noticed it the other day.
Well, you can't deny it
Have a-
because it's going to
Yeah.
A
happen.
little bit, we probably have to
And-
close
and
the lane of traffic.
for some property
It
rights?
is.
Some things
And-
to get.
I don't know if you.
They
read
could
the
come in
email
the
that I
back
sent
way, I think.
From Rand, I did.
I
I did, and he had some good, and he had some good
Kevin.
points.
so fast, and I
You
thought
know,
there
we're
was a
off on,
few,
I'm
because he
looking at
compared it
Poker
to the
Grove,
SHD zone,
where it
and it's
comes
like,
over
no,
the-
it's not an
and
overlay.
stay off
It's
the main
rewriting our
driveway.
zones going forward, because, well,
You know,
basically,
maybe
let
to
me
shut
back
down,
up.
but long enough to
Give a
create
washout period,
Overlay.
give everybody a
I don't know, they
get out
might
of
be able
jail
to just pull
free
into your
card. We don't
parking
allow
lot
it
there,
in
actually.
R1
just
neighborhoods.
drain
You
from there. I
have
don't know.
10 years to operate it. By the end of the 10 years, you got to do something
Right,
else.
something else.
Gives lots of people
Mhm.
I was
plenty.
checking with a few,
But on the other
Jeff's
hand,
been looking with me
we
because Jeff knows the
create an
equipment.
R1 STR zone.
Mhm. And say
And
it's
maybe
within this
it,
I don't know,
parameters.
what would it take?
well, and maybe it's
So
every
he went down
R1
and
zone
looked at
now
it and then called me one
unless
day and says,
the
I don't
developer
think
wants
I've
it
got
excluded
really
or
anything
whatever,
to
but it's
pick it up.
decided up front, so
if,
everybody
like
knows
Schmidt or somebody
short-term
might even have a
rentals
big
are
enough
allowed. If you're buying a
dozer,
lot
front
in
loader,
here,
that would
short-term
pick it up.
rentals
It's
are
gonna be
allowed.
heavy.
And I
But
kind of thought,
wouldn't that
I
to be,
don't know
wouldn't that
how
to be for the
heavy,
new bills though?
Jeff
yeah, that
actually
would be
brought me
new
Polaroid.
neighborhoods.
Yeah,
as
new
they're-
neighborhoods.
Yeah,
Right,
every
going
other,
forward.
every other
I don't know
zone,
how
or every other
Charlie down the
R1,
streets had
there'd be a
those.
washout period.
Yeah.
And then they
When they
wouldn't be
moved it
allowed
from the iron
in
mines
those
into there.
existing grandfathered
Oh,
R1
gosh.
zones.
Yeah, no, I thought
So
there was some, I thought there was some merit in
merit
it. I
to
did
it.
think there was some
He
merit.
totally shot
Probably.
it down and compared it
Yes.
to the SHD.
I didn't
It's
even know
like,
it was there.
no, it's not an
I mean, I've looked
overlay.
at the
It
monument
would be a
100 times,
new
and it's not
zone,
really even-
R1
Well, but even what does he mean by
STR.
that? Was
Tom and I
Paul,
drove down
was
there that
Paul
day,
against
we
the
were talking
HHD?
about
Because I never knew where Paul stood.
I
Paul
pulled
Bittman.
up there and I thought.
Yeah,
Because he never mentioned where he fell on it. I mean,
yours
Yeah,
moved
I don't
back here
know
years
where he
ago.
felt,
Yeah.
but it wasn't really an overlay. It was like,
I don't-
it would
well,
be a
I've
new
always
zone
wondered because
created.
Well, you don't
most,
really
if you look
for it,
now,
'cause it
a
looks
lot of the
like-
STRs are
You just really look at it. You
close.
can tell.
They
it's-
want to be
it's, you know,
close to
iron.
downtown and close to the Shakespeare Festival, and no matter what zone
Anyway,
it's
just
in. you
Sometimes
know.
take a gander.
So
and
I was wondering,
see
do we
if it'd
create a
add to
special
your
STR zone? And
display
said,
down there?
they are permitted, but only in this parameter and this parameter. But
But
Because I
then-
you
haven't
pick
even
and
mentioned it
choose,
to
like
anybody
you're
else.
protected
No,
and
you're
you're
right.
not. You
You're
can't.
right.
Well, what did
Yeah,
St. George
and I
do
think we
on
could
theirs?
probably find some.
I'm trying to remember
I
the
can't remember either.
particulars on
I
theirs.
don't know.
they did create a special
Typically,
zone.
like
I don't know how they
Schmidt or
did it,
something.
I don't know how they.
but
pick
they've got
and
a
choose,
special
yeah.
location where they can be.
You know, Gilbert,
They call it the resort zone or something
Then I
like
know
that.
Cindy
I wonder if
Reed,
that's where these people
they're about the same
on
age
Ridge
in
Road got the
school.
idea of like,
Some in high
well,
school.
the
Maybe.
city needs to create a resort zone and build just short-term rentals
You know, and
there.
I didn't want to get
But
into
the thing
that. I didn't
is,
want to spend any
Most people
money.
that stay in short-term rentals,
Getting it
and what
donated
developer is going to
cans.
devote their
I thought it'd be
property
kinda
that I
cool,
can only
Even if we
sell this
put
property if
somebody's
somebody
name
wants to
on it,
build
helped us.
Yeah, we can.
a short-term rental, nobody's going to commit to that.
No. No.
I just
So
thought,
it's
you know,
like-
used to love to
And the other
climb
thing that
like
I'm
that
struggling
when
with,
I was a kid.
I don't think we
kinda-
can require
It's kind of weird. 'cause
the
you
owner of
really
the property to
shouldn't
be
enjoy
on the
climbing
premises.
on,
No.
you know, historic.
However,
You know what I'm saying?
maybe there is a
It's a
period
chunk of iron. It's
because
maybe not as.
I'm now thinking of the
But like
lodging
you
in
got
the
all that
hotel
anyway
industry.
with your shovel and
Maybe they can
caboose that
only
everybody goes
rent
in.
it out
So anyway,
I
just
don't
a
know.
thought, just something I was going to run across
120
you
days a year.
sometime.
I don't know what it is.
So
I don't care when that is. They can do whatever they want. But they only can do
yeah, you've got
120
my
days a year.
email, so
So they're not in
it's Aaron
constant
at
competition
scinternet.net. If you
with
get
the
looking at it, you can
hotels.
find
I don't know.
I don't know, that'd be pretty hard. 'cause
Yeah.
if-
Well, I don't know how to
Todd, see
track
ya.
it. I don't know how to track it.
Yeah, you can track it. And that would make.
Because
it
that's
very-
in there right now. By the group in green.
By the green group,
Right,
yeah.
right. What do you think about that, Ron?
I don't like that at all,
what's
because
that?
About and now we're talking about the short-term rentals, about having owner be in residence 183 days a year, or 160 days a year, or 140, whatever the number is.
Here's what the point is on that, and Craig's the one that, I hadn't responded to any of it, but when Craig responded, Craig's thinking the same thing I am. It's going to avoid out-of-town buyers
Right.
from buying just a house for a short-term rental.
well, it would
That's-
eliminate local people from doing it too, though, because you're gonna you either have to then rent it out to somebody for 6 months
Yeah.
and then the rest of them, or live in there. And
Well,
most
and-
people that live here already have a
Yeah.
house they
Yeah,
live
I
in.
But I
know.
do have a
So-
concern that all the big money in Vegas is going to say, shoot, there's a home for $300,000. I'm picking that up right now.
Yeah,
And that's
I don't-
what they're
I
doing.
never plan to live there, but I'm going to make some money.
I get calls every week.
Yeah, I'm sure you do. I'm sure you do.
from the Mesa Hillside. They're calling.
And
they're
I don't
calling me
want
with
that to
Mesa
happen.
Hills to say, is it true we can't have a short-term rental in your neighborhood?
You said yes.
I said, yes, it is. Absolutely.
So
true.
CCNRs
Yeah.
govern
And
that.
that's a question I need to talk to Tyler about because he's got that in there. If you read that whole
I did.
thing.
I just read it really cursory because he read it, and I appreciate
Yeah.
your comments. Now,
Yeah,
I
I
want to
like
comment
Craig's
back, but
comments,
I haven't
yeah.
had time to really
No,
look
no,
at it. You know,
that's
yeah,
all.
I've been deciphering it a little bit in between too, and I read Craig's. I like Craig's comments. That's why I said that is the only thing I saw.
I don't know how to.
Oh,
We'll turn it on.
oh, you mean across the?
Across this, you can turn that off.
We're not on the internet, or